Dude! New fucking intro!
There's a
Whee!
moose, and there's a psycho gorman riding the moose, and there's a hunky boy, and everything is here. And we have Josh with his amazing these integrations of scene transitions. Again, talking. Also, I have a new camera.
It's all new. It's episode fucking 100. It's a big day, Rod. I feel great. Today is my 1 year sober anniversary as well. So it's like this big,
dude, congrats.
Big day for me. I've had like a lot of praise and like congratulations all day. I don't know. I feel like emotional, and it's like it's all good. The future is fucking bright, man.
It's a fucking like it's an achievement, man. I mean, we just watched Dr. Sleep last week, right? And the whole like you see him get his like 1 day coin, and then he talks about his 4-month coin that his dad had. Was it 4 months? I think it was 4 months. But no, dude, it's like something. It's not a joke, man. You're talking about like you're upgrading yourself.
Yeah,
I upgraded my camera, and you upgraded your Josh into like
totally. Well, and the stream, like I spent like the weekend like making sure this looks like fucking badass, and then I sent it to you, and then I was like, no, it's not good enough. And then this logo I went and vectorized and then re-rendered everything out again because it was like pixelated looking. I was like, fuck that, I can do better. And I love it now. Dude, looks great.
I love it. The color scheme is awesome, and kind of like Kin's hair goes perfectly with it.
Hell
it goes right there. And the heart, her heart, which from her channel, which is awesome. But yeah, it's all goes together, man. And it's we're here. We're powered up, man. And dude, I am proud of you. I said that earlier. It's like sobriety is something that is easier for some than others, but like anyone that goes down that like road, you're testing yourself, right, man? It's something that's like
totally
it's not easy.
Well, and even on the weekend, like because I spent Saturday working on all this stuff, and it was like thunderstorming and stuff, so I couldn't get out. But I was like chomping at the bit to like get out, and then I went on the longest bike ride of my life on Sunday as well, like over 120 kilometers Sunday, and then another 30 today. So I'm over 150 kilometers in 2 days on the bike. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm pushing myself. I'm feeling good. I'm glowing.
Like 75 miles, isn't it? Kilometers always blow my mind with like how much a kilometer is. Oh, they're stupid.
I'm in Canada, man. I don't know this miles crap.
Dude, miles don't make any sense, so it's okay. And obviously we brought Kim back because she was more than willing to come hang out with us again. I'm sorry, Ken, but you're here again.
Really quick though, congratulations guys on everything. That's awesome.
Yay!
It's been a lot of like, like this came out of a like project after meeting Josh in like the beginning of the pandemic, and then like just going on into like,
and we met drinking in someone else's Discord channel, Game Dad. Like, he came in, he was wearing a Black Dahlia Murder shirt, and I was like, did we just become best friends? And I was joking, but we fucking did, and now we're here 100 episodes later.
Yeah, we have gone through. I mean, it's been a lot, man. This is all like a lot of updates in the last couple months alone. We're doing all the video stuff now, which is dope, and it makes it just adds the experience because Ken, this from your content creating. It's not enough anymore to be one place. You have to be all the places.
You just gotta.
Exactly that.
Yep. It's some of it's easier than other, man. Like I'm a little jealous at times, but I mean it's because of what he is. Like, but Zeke has Scott, his like community manager kind of guy who does like all his videos and does all that stuff and puts stuff on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. And I'm like, probably makes sense because Zeke probably would never be able to do this himself. Like he could if he tried, but it's just like so much time. It's like, and that's the thing, man. It's and you laugh at anyone who thinks that content creation isn't a full-time job. as Ken will tell you, as anyone will tell you who does this shit for a full-time, gig. It's a lot of work, man. And it's not even my full-time gig, and I put a lot of work into it. So yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Constantly feel like you're slacking.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Come on, get your shit together, Rod.
Get everything together. 16 platforms to post on with different content every day.
Yep. I'm at this point where, man, I'll share shit on Twitter and on Instagram or TikTok. I don't even care. I'm just like, it's everywhere and it's going in also like, a bazillion directions, but you're just shotgunning your shit into the universe basically. So yeah.
Well, with all that being said, we are part of the Slash and Cast podcast network. And it's in the game, Rod. And our friend Totally Drunk put together a package from some other people from the podcast network congratulating us. So let's take a look. Let's watch it. Whoop! Hey, there it is. You guys, you're queued up. We're watching this together, by the way. We're all over the world, but I got control over what you see right now. All right, let's watch it.
We can't hear it, Josh.
What'd you say?
I'm just hitting play on my own. I couldn't hear it from yours. Start over again, Josh. That's all.
Okay. Start it over.
I can't hear it on the thing though. So is it your audio picking it up? That's the only thing I'd be worried about. Is make sure your video recording is picking it up.
No, it's not. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
I'm Hand to Whiskera, wishing murder moves.
All right.
What's up?
I'm gonna play on mine too.
Just wait.
As long as you see it, it's fine. Or hear it.
New technology, guys. What the
This
heck?
is everything on the show is beta access.
Oh wait, share system audio. Share. Oh wait, can you hear it now?
What's up, fiends? This is T from Hand to Whiskera, wishing.
What the fuck?
As long as you could hear it on your audio, Ken and I can hit play at the same time. It's fine.
Okay. I'll start it over. 3, 2, 1. Hit play now.
What's up, fiends? This is T from Hand to Whiskera, wishing Murder Moose a big congrats on episode 100. A few friends wanted to pop in and say hello, so let me throw things over to them.
Hi, Josh and Rod. It's Stephanie
and Courtney
from They're Terrified and Tipsy.
And we just wanted to say congratulations on your 100th episode.
Yay!
Yay!
Cheers!
Hi, Murder Moose. Congratulations.
Congratulations, 100 episodes.
Cheers.
Scowl, my friends. It's me, Lay, from the Valhor podcast, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Rod and Josh's success on the 100th episode of Murder Moose. Seriously, congratulations, guys. And Scowl, of course. I hope to see you at your next one, or your 200th episode. And, of course, and all that. Wishing you many success and blessings, my friends.
Hey Murder Moose, I am Slasher, one of the hosts for the Slasher Cast podcast, and yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations today for hitting 100 episodes. As a podcast that recently hit 100 ourselves, we welcome you to the 100 episode family. Hope you have a good time, and congratulations on hitting that milestone.
Rod, Josh, this is Jerry.
Jerry!
I'm here with green lighting because I'm really high and I like the movie Cloverfield. And Nicolas Cage is here too, and we just wanted to say happy 100th episode. I love being on the show when life's calamities don't ruin me being on the show. When homeless people don't fight outside or my dad's missing. Anyways. Love you guys.
I love you, Jerry. Oh my God.
Happy 100th. Here's 200 more.
No gypsy curse is going to be strong enough to prevent Jerry from being on episode 100.
Yay!
Was not going to let that slide by any stretch of the imagination. Again, Murder Moose, Rod, and Josh, congrats again on celebrating 100 episodes of the podcast. You know I love you guys to the moon and back, and congrats on all of your successes, and I'm looking forward to celebrating with you guys for every future success to come. Keep up the great work, and, doesn't matter what rails, or if there are rails, or whatever have you, I love this podcast and everything that it brings to the table. Thank you so much for all of the work that you put in and, keeping me company as I do my own podcast prep. Thanks again.
Hey, that was
Aw,
awesome.
sweet.
Yay.
Jeremy is one of my favorite people I've met doing this whole thing, like after, and like Josh was out of action for a while and filled in a lot, and he's one of my, like, the man's successes, and I don't know, I love him. I love all those guys, like, you taking the time out to just do something and just say hi, like T and everyone else.
I appreciate Jerry so much, man.
Yeah, Jerry
Seriously.
doing that stuff.
Well, it was honestly a year ago right now when everything, like, I had to take a break. My life was just not okay. Divorce and just a whole bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm taking it and I'm being fucking, I don't know, just super positive for the future.
You're doing
you know?
great.
You are,
Yeah.
Josh, and you're looking pretty as usual. So
Yeah, I'm fucking single.
okay, guys, we're talking about we're gonna talk about Let the Right One In for episode 100, which I thought was a pretty good, like, dive in for, like, what this show was going to be, kind of what it's evolved over time. But I want to just catch up with everyone. How's everyone been doing? What have you guys been up to? You've been watching anything interesting? What's going on? What's up? You could, Canton, you're the guest again, so you can go first if you would like.
I'm rewatching through X-Files.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I have this really, oh my gosh, how much of a mess can I make? I have this really cool X-Files, like, case files book, and I was like, I really want to just rewatch all the X-Files, so I started doing that again.
Oh, nice.
I was making it to, like, the second to last season, and I'm like, all right, this is enough. I don't care anymore.
It's so good though.
It's so good. I love.
I have the first season always right here as my, like, riser for my speaker. It's just always there looking at me.
I need to finish it. I think the last time my wife and I sat down, we got to, like, I think the last episode I remember, but it was right around that, like, where Mulder gets taken off to that prison in, like, Russia or whatever. Like, was that, like, season 2 or 3 or something like that. And I just remember, like, X-Files was one of the shows that growing up, I was like, I remember going to bed on Sunday nights and, like, because I think it was on Sunday nights, whatever it was on. But
I thought it was Friday, but
was
I
it Friday?
could be wrong.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Also Canada.
I just remember it being something that I don't know, like, what there is. Well, it's a lot harder nowadays though, because there's so many places to, like, get content. You can watch anything on demand, whatever. But, like, when I was a kid, I felt like the things that were a big deal were a lot more in the, like, horror or sci-fi or whatever, like, genre. And like, I felt like that was kind of what?
There's, like, a lot of event stuff. Like, we were talking about the Stephen King stuff last week, right?
Yeah.
And like all the miniseries, like the Stand. I remember The Stand pretty distinctly being a big thing, like, when that miniseries was coming out. And, like, stuff like that. And yeah, there were, like, a lot of events that were pretty big that were all, like, in the horror realm, right? Or science fiction realm. And
I remember seeing it, like, way too young. I think I was, like, in ECS or whatever, like, preschool. And my friend's like, oh, come over and watch this. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and Josh there's a reason why he calls Rod Clown Dick, because I'm
what?
Out of his
what?
nightmares.
What'd you say? Clown Dick? What? Hey! It's Clown Dick! Rod's just like...
I want to say before you reminded me, Josh, did you guys hear that, like, Halloween Kills or Ends is going to be streaming day one at the same day as
on Peacock. Yeah, because it's probably shit. That's why.
I don't know, man. It may, you know what it is, Josh. Your hatred for Halloween Kills. It's one day I'll get you.
Did you see the poster I did? Like, they came out with their new poster. And it's like them standing back to back, like they're dropping a new fucking album. And I was like, no.
It's
You
like
missed.
crisscross.
Yeah, I was like, you missed the fucking mark. I was like, if it's called Ends, just show it fucking ending. So I took his head off and made her holding his head. I thought that was pretty, pretty good.
I thought it was more appropriate for the term Ends, but yeah. I think they just made enough money last year doing both that they don't care. Is basically what it is. And, like they're like, okay, you're not gonna. It's gonna get people to go sign up for Peacock again, and then people will still go to. I'm gonna
There
go
it
to the
is.
theater.
Ends.
See,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Especially we all.
I love it.
Here, fast forward 5 seconds. If you after I say 3, 2, 1, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, and then fast forward 5 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. After her daughter gets killed by Michael Myers. So that's like that. After the ending of that, Laurie is going to be very, very angry in this film, and the Halloween Ends is going to be appropriate, right? And like we've gotten bits and pieces out of the internet, what's coming out of it, but I hope it's awesome. I still really like Halloween Kills, regardless of Josh's hatred for that movie. But I know I'm the exception, but like I liked most of the things that people have shit on in the last year.
I liked parts. There was good parts, but like the amount of like, I don't know, man. Like I say it all the time that like weaponized nostalgia, it's used too often, and that movie was just riddled with it, and it's not original. And I know that what they're trying to do, but fuck, stop.
Okay. So Josh, what have you been watching?
Let the Right One In.
Anything else? Besides your giant, or you've been doing your giant bike rides, so maybe you haven't had.
I've just been watching YouTube, to be honest. Like I go to like put on a movie, and it's like I don't want to watch something that takes too long right now.
Yeah.
So I just put on like YouTube, and then I've been playing like really like boring computer games, like what is it called? All Quiet Roads. It's like a simulator for like traffic. It's like
that sounds cool. I'm all about that.
And then
simulator stuff, yeah.
And then City Skylines I just downloaded. I've been getting into like watching YouTube videos of that. It's all like city planning, and like All Quiet Roads is so good. It's on Steam. It's only like $11, and it's just like circles, squares, and triangles, and you have to like they want to go to each other, so you have to build roads, and
like
then it just
Valley.
Yeah, it becomes like complete fucking chaos, but it's so addictive, and it just like it's calming because the music that plays is just like, and all of a sudden like 4 hours is gone, and I'm like, what the hell?
Now, let me ask you, if you're at the first of all, I just added that to my wish list, but if you're playing City Skylines, are you getting the DLCs for all of the different packs? And
I can't afford that right now. That's
how is
insane.
You can always keep an eye on Humble. They sell them on DLCs on sale. But no, if you start doing roads, one of the things that like a friend of mine does whenever he builds like extensive highways and stuff through cities, is he pulls up maps of like big towns and like looks at how they function.
No way. That's such a good hack.
that. Yeah, it's a really good idea. I was like, I can't make traffic. And he was like, just do this. And I was like, oh.
Cheat codes. That's the Game Genie for.
What's like the game called Frontier?
Yeah, Farthest Frontier.
Farthest Frontier, which is like basically settlement like version of this, like where you're old school. Like,
oh yeah,
and
it's kind of like Frostpunk, but not as extreme.
Yeah. Dude, that game, I played it once and I was there for like 3 hours, and then I'm like, they're like, oh, go find some more wood, and I'm like, but I can't find. And then everyone froze to death and died, and I got all dejected, and I don't think I've ever played it since. And it was like,
yeah.
I told Ken, I was like, you're playing like The Witch, the video game. This is like how the family got kicked out of the settlement, is because like some like person playing this game is like, yeah, get out of here. Fuck you guys. And then
when I play City Skylines, if one of my houses is not completely happy, I evict them, bulldoze it, and let another family.
All of the downloads.
100.
Seriously, all the downloads is over $300 Canadian. There's no way.
Yeah, it's a
like
lot.
that's insane.
I don't have them all. It's a lot.
I just started on Saturday the Fractured Butthole game, and I was like, I'm gonna get the DLC. I spent $60 American. I'm like, all this DLC for that game. And I'm like, that game is it like?
Oh my god!
Came out like in 2000.
That's like $3,000 Canadian.
I know, it's like all the loonies, dude. I was just going through Canada in the Stick of Truth, so So that's like, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're like, this seems like stuff that's like calming and like cool. It just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I used to Fortnite all the time, and it's funny because like a lot of the people that I've tried to get into Fortnite back when I played a lot with like my daughter and all that stuff, it was like they didn't fucking care. And now that I'm like, I just, I don't, I don't really play it anymore.
They took building out.
And now all the people that didn't want to play are all like, fucking hey, let's do it.
That's because I'm sorry, man. I'm too fucking old to be like claw gripping that controller and like.
I have a scuff, so like it does help having that extra paddle.
You play with a controller, which is even more mind-boggling. I sit and watch 10 to 17-year-olds play Fortnite. That sounds really creepy, but whatever. And just the way that they like.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, how do you do this? And then I feel old and I want to go cry.
Well, they spend half the day in like build it mode and just like practice doing crazy shit.
That and they all grew up on fucking Minecraft, right? Like Minecraft was like their
as soon as it got like, because I really enjoyed it, and it was like the skill gap was kind of like, it was still way above me, but like there was enough for me to like work towards. But then as soon as the like keyboard players could like build and edit in like a continuous motion, like I can't do, there's no way. I would have to like figure a way different setup on my controller. As soon as that was the like new meta and every person I played against was editing on me and shit, I was like, fuck this game fucking sucks. And I stopped playing it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do real quick. My wife and I had been watching.
No, wait, Rod. What have you been up to? I'm a good co-host.
All last week. So we finished up the Orville, which is Seth MacFarlane's like sci-fi show, which is now on Disney Plus because whatever. And the third season just finished up. And friend of the show, Katie Peters, obviously has her show Quantum Drive, which they got to interview all the stars this year, which is really fucking cool. But like. Nice. We finished that up, and that show is really fantastic if you like science fiction stuff. Like it does a lot of stuff, and it's amazing because of what Seth MacFarlane's reputation is because of Family Guy. But like, the show is just it does a lot and does a lot of cool shit, like in homage to Star Trek and in all those type of shows. But man, it hits social issues that are just so like relevant today. Like there's like a stuff about like you can compare a lot of the things on the show to like people and like movements and stuff like that, and you just go, oh, and but they tell really really good stories, and they address these issues over time, and it's really wonderful. So if you really like that kind of stuff, I would highly suggest it. It gets you pretty early on in like the first season where you have episodes that are like, why am I crying over the sci-fi show about like guys exploring the galaxy? And it's because they hit up these situations. You're like, oh damn, they hit hard with this. So, but yeah, nice. So we finishing that, and then I don't know, not much else. Lots of YouTube for me also in my spare time. But it went back to off. Why you mute me, bitch?
Because you're so loud, you're clipping like crazy, and you never turn down, and I have to turn you down like crazy because you just clip.
And then my audio is going to be too. Yeah. Okay.
No,
here, I'll turn
because I'm always trying to turn you down so you don't clip, but then you're clipping on your side, and it's coming in clipped, and I'm trying to compensate where you should just do it on your end, Rod.
There, I turned down a little bit.
Oh, so much better. Oh my god.
Okay, there you go. Technical issues everywhere in the show today. We've been doing this for 100 episodes, and we still don't know what the fuck we're doing. But okay. Let's dive into it, though. We are talking about Let the Right One In from 2008, which is Swedish and one of my favorite foreign horror movies ever. I'm going to read a synopsis, and it goes as follows. Oscar, an overlooked and bully boy, finds love and revenge through Eli, a beautiful but peculiar girl. So as I was watching this yesterday, I had to look it up, and I was curious on what...
Isn't it Ellie? Yeah, Ellie.
But the way they say it in Swedish is very different. But why I brought this up is she only did 3 things ever as an actor. She did like Let the Right One in 2008, and then
No way.
2 more movies after
She was
that.
so fucking good in this. Like unbelievable.
So I'm curious, like, and I bet if you go in and look around why, or if she did more stuff like this. And then Oscar didn't do much more. Like he has one more credit. He did 3 more things after that. He did some TV and some a movie called Cupid's Balls, which but yeah. Because I mean it's one of those things, and we were talking about it last week, like with the kid in The Shining. He did this movie at like such a super young age and then never did anything else after that. And I feel like that's a common occurrence with these child actors. Like not everyone is like a child actor who goes on and does acting for 50 years, right? Yes.
Edits. Oh my god. It's like I know. Episode 100. So good.
This movie though, it's one of those movies that I remember when Netflix was just becoming a thing. Like the buzz on this film was so big for anyone who loved foreign films and loved horror, and how impactful this movie was back then, and how much this movie has remained a favorite of mine over the years is a big thing.
2008 came and it was I don't remember. My buddy Ben, he's been on the show once. He took me to a Calgary Underground Film Festival event, and this was like the premiere big movie for the year. And I just remember like it was my first time going to Calgary Underground Film Festival, and it was like not one of my first indies, but like one of the first times seeing it like live in a theater and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh my god, this is so fucking good, so well done. And it like it stayed with me for like weeks and weeks, and I was just so blown away by this movie that I'm happy we're here doing like a special episode for this one, and that I got to work on this poster. I feel like it encompasses my love for the movie as well, and like some really cool scenes from it. And it's just such a fucking well done movie. And because it's foreign, they can touch on like subject matter that like North America just doesn't touch whatsoever. So it's like to see it like done, and it's like now there's a play, there's like a live action play to this and stuff. Like as I was looking through, seeing like just how well this movie's done, and it's got the American remake and all that stuff. It's all justified because this movie is fucking fantastic.
So Ken, what was your
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what was your first experience, or how are you introduced to this film?
I want to say, yeah, I read the book first.
That's cool though, man.
The book came out in 2004. So I read the book first, and then I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I forgot about it. And then in college, my freshman year, I just watched a lot of like indie movies and a lot of just random horror. I would finish classes, go back to my room, and that's what I did. And this was one that I watched and I loved it. And then when the remake came out, I watched it and I was like, oh, this is really good, but it doesn't come close to this one. There's something about her eyes in this one that are just so, I don't know if it's contacts, I don't know what it is, but they're so compelling. And when they do those side angle shots of her eyes, you're just like,
I feel like in foreign movies, they will allow, and because they're like not well-known actors as well, like, you know, the American remake is like a whole bunch of people we know. You can feel the like production and the acting, whereas this one, like they stay on the faces when they're not perfect. And I feel like all of the not like polished perfect stuff about this movie makes it so good. Like the composition is always amazing in this, and like just and it adds to like the, I don't know, just the art of this movie. But like them, and just, I don't know, the grittiness to this, it totally adds to the story. and makes it feel like this legitimate world. It's
Oscar, the kid who plays Oscar, his name, I'm not even gonna really try, but like it's Carre Head Brandt. I don't know.
Mr. needs to wipe his nose.
10 out of yes.
It's not even just him too. Like all the kids are real bad like that, right? Like every single time, it's like when
but it's cold there, so like I get it.
I live in Canada. I still wipe my nose all the time.
No.
When you were like
lie.
12, when you were an angry 12-year-old, like things were probably different, right?
No,
But-
I hate that.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things, but I'm highlighting what you're saying, and your point with that was like he's so like this awkward 12-year-old, and that's like a lot of the story, right? It's like this kid who doesn't feel like he's it feels like he always feels like he's an add-on, like he is the like plus one to every situation. Like
yeah,
when his dad, who you briefly see in a couple scenes,
Rod,
like Josh.
Whoa! Hey!
When like he goes and sees his dad at one point, and they just hang out. But then the next time, his dad is, it seems like he's actually a raging alcoholic or something like that. And
totally.
He has this guy come over, and they're just like plastered in the middle of the night, even though he's supposed to be watching his kid. And you're just sitting there going, okay. And the mom, obviously, it seems like the mom works like
weird hours.
Yeah,
totally.
because she's a single mom. So you're like, this kid is an accessory, or he's just like pretty much left alone. And you start going, well, then everyone's kind of like abusing him or ignoring him. And there are very few people in this movie that like even show any tiny bit of interest in this kid, in Oscar. And that includes the creepy fucking gym teacher. It's just like,
but there's that really cute scene between him and his mom where they're like brushing their teeth.
Yeah.
And it just like those little moments feel so real, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just how it was edited. There's like a whimsical, like legitimate feeling to the way it's filmed. And like, as much as like the wides and the composition of all the other shots feel really like cinematic and like indie cinematic, but still very cinematic, because of the like camera and the like not perfect like lenses they chose to use and stuff, it felt like almost like home video sometimes. And those shots, it added to the actual like, I don't know, like legitimate feeling behind it as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned the teeth brushing scene, but the scene where they're like having dinner right after he gets hit in the face and he's explaining to her that he fell on the playground, like that one also is it looks like it's looking through the window.
Yeah.
And they're, just going about their day, and it felt very real. And I think it's so really, it's beautifully done. It's very well shot. And the story is just fabulous.
And it has some of the like it has some of the really like jaw-dropping moments in this movie too, because it's like the undertone of this whole movie is like the love story between the two main characters, and it being like they're young, they're underage, and the fact that there is still that love story, I think that's why this movie has so much heart. But then the horrific moments that happen are like turned up to 10 and are fucking mental and super metal, and the juxtaposition between both is done so fucking well.
You have this thing where they're telling a story about like one book is ending with the old dude.
Yeah. Her
Hawken,
dad,
I think it's,
or the guy, like
her dad,
her handler,
her dad,
who used to be Oscar. You basically get Oscar, and you go. Ellie has been doing this and is like sets up this like parasitic relationship because she can't survive on her own. It's like impossible because she's this little girl who the noob came downstairs who can't survive on her own, because if you're there by yourself, you like either you're like turning people into vampires, which really gets you more attention.
Oh,
Or B, you're being seen committing these acts of violence, and it's like,
well,
there's this.
Speaking of like turning into vampires, like that's why I chose the fire scene. I wanted to add a cat somewhere, maybe like on the thing, because like that cat scene is so fucking awesome, and it just like it's like comedic, but not at the same time, and like she just does not want to be infected or turned. So like that is like one of the most metal fucking burn scenes I've ever seen in a movie. But then also when her dad like or the handler falls out the window, and it just like right in the face.
And it's like all like burnt off and everything,
Oh my
and it's
God.
like down
So
into the
good.
teeth. It's so good, yeah.
It's very Harvey Dent, like Two-Face, right? It is
Yes.
like, and they do such a good job of it because you can't see. Like at first, like the one side of his face is way more fucked up than the other side, right? And you're kind of like, he doesn't look that bad, and then you get like it looks fucked up, but then you see his other half of his face, and it's like his nose,
Just
like
gone.
yeah, it's like gone. It's got
But
that
it's
look.
because it feels all real too. So like when these like hyper like crazy things happen in the movie, because the rest of it's set up from this like place of like realism, everything feels more horrific when it is turned up to 10, because even her like, you know, pouncing on people, it's done how she would have to do that, and there's no like trickery or anything. She just jumps and is on their back and like bites, and like when she gets kicked off by the guy that's with the crazy cat lady, it just shows that she's very vulnerable as well, right?
I mean, you see her strength throughout the film. The pool scene being the highlight of all of this. But like you're sitting there going, I think it's more of the problem with being a 12-year-old vampire, right? And like that's kind of like one of the big things with Interview with the Vampire, right? Is like the little kid vampire it's way too, things are way more fucked up. Like if you see a dude walking at you covered in blood, oh yeah, you're gonna be scared. Yeah, sure. But if you see a 12-year-old girl covered in blood, like with it all over her face, you're like, oh, this is bad.
But that scene where like it lends itself to the actual like title of the movie, where he's just like, no, you can't come in because I don't trust you. Or what are you stealing that money from people and stuff? And she just like starts to bleed from her skin from everywhere, from every orifice and stuff. I was like, it's so something that you don't like normally see in like a movie like this. So like this movie takes the tropes that you know from vampire movies and uses them, but also sets its new rules and does it so well that I feel like more vampire movies and stuff should use what they've come up with.
I feel like Corduroy Pants kind of was inspired by this movie a little
100%.
bit.
Well, we said that in that,
Yeah.
What was the movie actually called? Because I called it Corduroy Pants so much because it was even more indie
I have
than
no
this.
idea what corduroy pants is.
So when we talked about this film, Josh was like, he was like, this movie is so indie that it's Corduroy Pants. And you're like, let me look. I'm going to look it up. You guys
but not even just corduroy pants. They're corduroy pants that you just got from the thrift store with some other corduroy pants. So it's putting. There's like a whole scene in that movie where there's just like a guy trying on stuff that he just got from the thrift store, and there's no like audio other than like ASMR of him like putting on clothes. I'm like, what is this? Stop.
It was good, but it was very weird.
Yes, but it was definitely like hardcore. Like if Let the Right One In didn't exist, that movie would not have existed because it was almost a complete ripoff of the like premise of it, like being the vulnerable. Like it's putting it like being a vampire is a disease, and this kid was infected, and now they have to give him blood, but it never showed him with like teeth or anything, like because he was so weak from needing so much blood from being, so they would like go out and do it for him type thing. So it was like sad.
My heart can't beat unless you tell it to is what it was called.
Yeah, and like even the title Let the Right One In, because it's like a a sentence. That one being like even longer sentence. It had good actors in it too. It was just the more I think about it, like there's some high beat moments in that movie for sure, but it was overall a little almost too indie for me.
Dude, it's funny because
how can I say that? I love indie movies.
I watched a review yesterday for The Invitation that
it looks so dumb.
Dude, the trailers for that film are just I don't know how you can't make a better trailer for that film because it's just such
I've seen like 18 different trailers too.
Yeah.
Like
but that was another movie. Yeah, the movie review I saw of it was like the guy was like, "Yeah, this does nothing original at all. Like,
it didn't look like it.
Original. Yeah. Well, this is what it sounds like. It's like an hour and a half of romantic drama that turns into a vampire. The last 20 minutes or half an hour, just like, and it's PG-13. It's just like vampire movies are a weird state, man. It's like we talked about, you know, like The Lost Boys a little while back, but in this movie, it's like. This movie, I think, is still my favorite vampire movie of all time because it does stuff like so differently and so unique, and it's not just like status like quo for vampires, right?
That's why the top of their like actual poster, it's like award, like because it deserved every single one it got, and did it get nominated for like Oscars that year too? I believe it did.
It might have. I don't know.
It should have, if not, because holy fuck. 75 wins and 58 nominations as well. So it won a BAFTA, apparently.
Which is the science fiction and whatever, like, things, right? So this movie had a $4 million estimated budget. That's fucking bonkers, man. It is. You even have John Carpenter. John Carpenter applauds Let the Right One In for reinventing the vampire genre. Like, what year? And I'm going to ask this as a question as I look it up, because you think about it. Like, what year did Twilight come out? Because
the book was around the same time as the book of this. I think that the first Twilight book was 2004. I'm sorry, I should not know that knowledge. That's embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing.
How? No way.
Random information.
In the same, like, whatever. They're making more. I just saw something. They're making more like Hunger Games movies or something. Is that like?
Yeah. So the
prequel. Yeah, they're making a prequel.
Okay.
I love the Hunger Games. They're doing the prequel, and it's about snow. So I've already read the book. I read the book twice. I bought it the day it came out. It was here. It's so good.
My wife listens to the audiobooks all the time, like when she's like doing chores and stuff around the house. And my problem with those audiobooks is the fucking narrator is so monotone. And I liked listening to
What's
him, but, like,
English, Rod? What is English?
I don't know. I can't speak English, man. What do you think?
2005, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the movie came out in 2008, so I saw
that is so loud.
By the way, I saw somebody with a tattoo on Twitter today, and it was Sparkly Edward's head. And
I saw
like,
that.
This is the skin of a predator or something like that. I was like, the tattoo was really good.
I like the Bella, where have you been, Loca? But they just do the first letters of it, and then they get it like right here, and it makes me laugh every time I see it.
Dude, you want to talk about horror? Let's talk about horror. That baby in that last Twilight
it's
movie
terrifying. Oh my god,
nightmare fuel.
Yes,
which
nightmare fuel?
In what movie? What are you talking about?
The last Twilight movie, the CGI.
Oh my
baby.
god, dude! Yeah, fuck.
It is. You're like, why did they do that? Why? CG is like getting a nice ice cream and like putting some chocolate sauce on it. Like that's the CG is the chocolate sauce and like accents it. If you sit there and start squirting chocolate sauce into your mouth directly, you're never gonna have a good time, right? You might for a little bit, but then you're like, then you get
I don't
CG
know. Like
babies.
Nesquik was pretty good. I used to do that when I was a kid, but then actually no, it wasn't actually good. What am I talking about? It wasn't good.
So how about sriracha then? Like, is it like you put a little bit of sriracha on something and then
it's like
you're
the
gonna
cake theory.
Yeah.
I love sriracha, by the way, so I put that shit on everything. Yeah.
I know, but would you ever squirt it into your mouth and start drinking it like a soda? I don't think you would. I don't think you would.
For enough money, I would.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
we are content creators, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
We're all content creators. As I was trying on my sundress that I have to wear on my stream on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's more. What's the tip amount that is gonna make this happen for Rod?
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys at the beginning of the show. I asked my boss today. I go, hey, would my company care? Our company care if I posted nude pictures on the internet? And he hung up on me. and then he called me back, and he was like, "Why did you put that thought in my head?" And look at me. He was busting my balls, as everyone busts my balls, and I'm like, well, you know what? You're my boss now. You have to. These are the kind of things you have to deal with.
Field these questions.
Yeah,
because clown dick.
Clown dick is real. So that made me giggle. But
there better be a fucking like reveal from like a clown puppet sock thing or something if it is gonna happen.
I did tell you that there's killer clowns from outer space stuff at Spirit Halloween this year, right?
Yeah, the game's coming out, and then like
no way.
I think. Yeah, the multiplayer game. I don't play a lot of multiplayer horror, but I will check that one out.
Well, no, Spirit Halloween has gear, like has all kinds of merch this year. Yeah. I must have not. I thought I took pictures and sent them to you, but I was taking pictures and sending stuff all over.
Is it already open?
Some of them are. Yeah. I may or may not been to 3 already, but
what? I feel like I don't leave my house very often. Well, no, I leave my house every fucking day. I go to work, but then I just come home and I'm on a bike path. So it's like I don't see shit. I got to get out in the car, I guess. I don't know.
I look them up before we go. One year we went to a hotel and we intentionally stayed out of town so that I could hit 3 different Spirit Halloween.
Nice.
I literally the 2 things that I like. If you follow the right circles of people on Twitter, you know when Spirit Halloween's open up because they everyone's very excited. Yeah. That and they line up with like pumpkin spice, like when pumpkin spice back up. That's right around the same time.
That was well, my work is like right above a Starbucks and beside another like local coffee place that is really good. But I don't know. I've never been like I just like black coffee. So
I do too. That's my go-to. But I'll drink other stuff, and like my wife brings me stuff from there.
Pumpkin spice is just like it smells good, but it's just like whoa, like that's a lot of flavors going on.
There's a lot of sugar. Yeah, those 2 things line up. So that's why I laugh because it's always like the people who are like spooky season that are like only care about like horror movies and like. Stuff. What the fuck are you doing, Josh?
Okay, so that's a good point.
Oh, wait, the
Can
moose!
I ask you a question?
Yes.
What's up?
So, like, I play horror games like all year round. I watch horror movies year round. So when October rolls around and everybody's like, "Oh, you go play horror games," I'm like, I mean, I will, but like I've already played them. Like,
yeah, but
ooh, scared.
It's because you have you have way more audience. Like Rod and I see the numbers spike for the show like last year and stuff. And then it like, oh yeah, we don't care. Just November comes and people are like, fuck, I don't want to watch that shit anymore.
Which is weird because like, I still think our highest downloaded episode of all time was the Black Christmas episode where we did like our first Christmas time. Like, I don't think any other episode has ever done. Yeah. After like, so it's an interesting fact in where these things connect, right? And like what gets
now that I'm a part of this, I'm gonna actually like do some market research and see if I can push some traffic and stuff.
Yeah. Don't get Rod Wieners on there, as we learned. That's how you get hung up on today, as I learned.
All right. I'm gonna it's all about short form media. Like this is an hour and a half podcast. What I'm gonna do is make some sliced up short form media that can be posted other places and go to town, because that's how you grow and try and funnel to the actual episodes itself. So let's grow, do what the algorithms want us to do, and see what happens, man.
Yeah, I'm all in with it. Whatever. I mean, it's okay. It's all good. We're gonna figure it out. So
I'm making it look pretty. I want people to see it.
I know it is pretty, just like you. It's just like the hunky boy that the Psycho Gorman is now holding in her
I fucking love it.
our poster. I created by Jen, who is her and her wife do a stream on Fierce Ferrets, two of my favorite people ever, and she just killed it again. She was another one. She was like, "That's not much I want." I'm like, "Okay, here's more money. You take more money because that's not enough money. You take more. You take more." So yeah.
It's so good though. Like I like having good assets to like work from and dictate the move forward, right? I definitely like, because I love blue and pink. They're my colors, and Continue's colors too. They're all, they're everywhere. So I thought Psycho Gorman with the blue and pink and some red make it a little it's all good.
So as I was watching this though last night again, like I don't think it'd been probably about 10 years ish, maybe a little more than that. Like it might have been like 2009, 2010 the last time I watched this. This movie, it holds up extremely well. Even the only thing that I noticed watching it this time, the only thing that I'm like, oh, that might have been like doesn't age as well. The CG and the cats, and there was like one particular cat that I noticed looked a little weird and wonky, like when during the cat scene that Josh was talking about. But
it's so good though. It's so good. It still stands out.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, think about it. You can't have real attack cats, right? I mean, Ken could provide her like Weasel, but like
she would be happy too.
I want to see it. I want to see
it. She's in the other room. She's just a black cat called Weasel, but she's waiting for me to die so she can eat my entire existence. She tenderizes me by like licking my face on stream.
There's a rapper, white rapper named A$AP Rock, not A$AP Rocky, like A$AP Rock, and he's got a line that always resonated with me. It was like, he talks about like, will they find his body before the cat eats his face or whatever? And it's like, yep, you are a source of food for cats, and when you stop providing that food like voluntarily, they will eat you, and there you are.
But so, if you have that many cats, you're in for it anyways. Like, come on, you're treading water, and
you sleep too long, and they're gonna get you.
Exactly. There's too many, so like, no wonder she wanted to light herself on fire.
How many cats were on her? Like, it felt like 6, 8 cats. It was a lot of fucking cats.
The one scene with cats, I counted, there were 8, but that was just the one random scene. So I don't.
Well, I mean, you a lot of that action there is very quick cut because it was CG, right? They don't actually have cats. And then when she gets yeeted down the stairs, like which is still like. It reminds me because I just finally watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and fucking amazing movie, by the way, Josh. You and the Black Bagel of everything, and how good that movie is.
I haven't seen it yet, and everybody's like, it's the best thing ever.
It's really good.
I almost like, because Ben and I went and saw it for his birthday, and it just came out, so it was like the Thursday like preview night or whatever, and then I saw it again as soon as I got it on Plex, and then watched it again with my family. Like I watched it with my mom, and she's like, "What the fuck? Like, why do you gotta?" Like, because it's so good, but then like because it has the subplot story with family and stuff, she's like, "Oh man, why do you gotta make me feel?" And then when they said it was coming back to IMAX, I almost went and saw it again. That's how it's the best movie of the year. Seriously, you heard it here.
The scene with her getting like chucked down the stairs reminded me of like the right one, like when her head goes to the wall or whatever. And I was like, which reminded me of that. So I was like, man, that
Jamie Lee Curtis actually everyone kills it in that movie. It's so well done.
It's so funny seeing Jamie Lee Curtis in like a little like fat suit, like because she doesn't have that much fat on her, and like they're like just her being crazy, and the sausage fingers will forever be.
It's so fucking well done.
I have to say though that one of the things that really does stand out and let the right one in is that like no one in this movie really seems happy. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I was saying. Like there's in between shots, right? Like it shows the kids like I don't know if they would do that as much in the just North American movie in general, but like they show him really just like, and like there's nothing else, and it speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, you get set up in the situation where these bullies have been fucking with this kid for you have no clue how long, right?
Obviously it has to be a huge amount of time, especially when they're like standing outside, just like wailing on him with the switch to the point that the other kid is crying and he's just standing there.
I don't know. It shows the different like amount of bullying and stuff, like different places in the world and stuff. When was this like? When did this movie take place, or was it
1985?
Okay, so I think that makes more sense then.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's not modern because of like the technology basis, but like you also hear the radio and the TV things, and they talk a lot, like this being in Sweden, right? Like of like the Soviet Union, right? They talk about the Soviet Union, right? A lot because it fell in what 89, right? So you're like a couple years before that, which a really hectic time. If you ever see, there's a German movie from like I think the early like 2000s called the Lives of Others. I think was what it was called, like about a KGB agent, like or not KGB, but like a German intelligence agent, like right around the same time. And it's just like, everyone's very sad like the whole time. And it's just like, I mean, like, all the adults in this movie are like fucking loaded, like almost the entire time, right? Like the dad, the mom, the all the adults who kind of are the like background fodder to Ellie, and they're all just drunk constantly, right?
Sorry.
Look at that fucking HD fucking rod. Can you just admire this HD fucking rod with me for a second? Wow. That is just
beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Rod.
All that stuff is like you go, it kind of explains, you talk about the bullying like you kind of see what, or they imply what the brother did to the main bully who almost, I mean, the brother who almost kills Oscar in the last act of the film. But like you go, oh man, you have to like, this kid is doing terrible shit, and then you probably go, that probably means the parents are terrible parents, or aren't around, or drunk, or beating them, and all this stuff. And you just go, and it's that terrible like cycle, because the older brother gets abused, and then he abuses his younger brother, and then the younger brother like gets a whole fucking gang of like kids.
Scene where he finally he's now like getting laid as a kid as well, or whatever is going on. He's got that confidence, and then he finally fights back and like just destroys that kid's ear, and the blood curdling cry that comes out, and like it zooms out and shows the reaction of the teachers and stuff. You feel like the actual like horror of like that moment with that kid's, I don't know, that scream was like, it just felt like more realistic. And like a lot of those, I don't know if it's like, because whenever we watch a foreign movie, like this one is like tippity top of like, filmmaking and just whatever. But like, I feel like because I'm having to read, and I've said this before in other movies, it's like, does that just make me think they're better actors because I don't know the language, and I can't like depict like the little subtleties like what I do when I'm watching an English movie. It's like, man, that was so acted. Like I did watch up until, honestly, there was like maybe 15 minutes left, and I was just like, I don't even fucking care. The new Sylvester Stallone movie where he's like a superhero. Oh my God. But there's like full scenes in that movie where he's like, I'm like, what the fuck was that? That's such bad acting. Come on. You're acting, and I see it. Whereas in this movie, like you just, there's nothing, like you don't see that glue of like bad acting or like reacting or anything like that. It flows, and it's so well put together, and it's just, it's fucking great.
I mean, this film, the adults that are around are either like the teacher who's just completely bored, like the gym teacher who just is like bored with everything, or you have like the adults who are all fucking loaded. Like every scene is them smoking and drinking, right? And so it's like, yeah, you can hide that stuff, and it's like, and then Oscar's just a fucking that kid, like if they ever did a remake of Powder, that kid could play Powder because holy shit is that kid like pale. And I mean, look at me, I'm pale as shit, right? I'm a pale motherfucker.
That is a lot of white Rod right there.
Yep, it is. Yep, it is.
But that's a white balance with your lights too. Come on. You're not that pale.
I'm pale, but I've been trying to get my lighting in a right setup. It's always one thing after another. So
I can just do that on my end. Ha ha.
Haha. Okay. So I have to say, another thing that I think might still be the those shocking scene in the whole film, besides like Ellie throwing her father out the window, is they set up the scene by she keeps telling Oscar that she's not a girl, and you're like, oh, okay, you're not a girl, and then he sees her naked. And you see, like, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's like Barbie.
It's Barbie, but like
messed up.
It reminds me of the sand dude from Naruto. If you've ever seen Naruto, like
she's got her favorite metal band's logo. Instead.
You know what it really kind of like reminds me of the Stranger Things season 4 when the dolls, the cracked doll gets sent to the mom, like at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. Like it is like she's like kind of looks like she's made of porcelain or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently she was born male, and then it was like a botched surgery of some kind, and it's what happened. I may have misremembered that, so please forgive me if I misremembered that.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think that
looking now.
Oh yeah, you totally are. That's awesome. Frozen Rod. That's not me. That's on you. Oh, that's his new tech. New tech. Let's just go to Josh on the street.
Yeah.
He's just.
I'm trying to figure out where I saw that.
He pieced right out. Oh, there he is.
There, I went out and back in. Yeah, so I mean, the movie doesn't go into any of that. In which it's one of the.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's one of the things that I do like a lot about this film, because one of the things that every time I watch this movie, I know, because I remembered as I was watching it last night, you go, how long has Ellie been doing this? Like, how many fathers?
But that's what I love more about this movie. Like any movie that, and it also adds to the fact, or that world building aspect that I was talking about. Like you feel like this universe and these rules that the writers and everything have come up with are like a thing, and like they're following it. And there was stuff before this movie, and there's going to be stuff after this movie, because this is like a real fucking universe that I want to see more. But I think also because it's now a one-off and it's lived through the test of time and it stands up so well. This movie is going to be one of those ones that people talk about for fucking generations.
I mean, which is appropriate after we talked about The Shining last week, right? Which is another one of those films. And it's like, you're sitting there going, this film is so like, anyone who's willing to dip their toes into foreign cinema, I feel like this film is right up there, even if you're not like super into horror, because of how well this film is made. And it's like right up there with Old Boy and like a lot of South Korean things that I would like immediately kind of point to. But like, this film is just so well done and so well like executed that it's just like, man, it is.
And it hits so hard in the parts where you want it to as well. Like the pool scene, we haven't like talked about it, but like,
beautiful.
It's just like, wow.
I think, and that's one of those things that scene is so good, but like people always go, the one thing Let Me In did better was the pool scene, because they turn
haven't
up
watched it.
You've never seen it?
I don't want to.
I like it. It's not anything
It's
like
good.
it's not. It doesn't feel necessary, but it doesn't feel
Exactly.
like it doesn't feel like it's it's shitting on the this movie.
Okay. Well,
It doesn't.
it's a really good filmmaker too, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the guy who did fucking Dark or the new Batman and stuff, right? So like,
Yeah, Matt Reeves.
yeah, Reeves knows what the fuck he's doing, so it's in good hands. But
Well,
because
Andy-
I love this movie so much, and
Yeah.
it's like it's got a very special place because of like when and how I saw it and stuff. But like, even that stuff aside, it's just it's 2008. Like that's not long enough, I don't think, for something to. It's those things where like America can't come up with their own good fucking ideas, so they just fucking do this.
Dude, they are in a little bit here. They're putting out The Last of Us for the third time, and they're only putting out half of it. And if you know anything about video games, The Last of Us is one of the best games of all time, let alone of the last decade. And they remade it. Came out on PS3, remade it on PS4, or re-released it on PS4 like a year later or whatever it was. And
so it was more HD.
Yeah, and then they're doing another.
It's got to be to coincide with the show coming out. Like they've been destroying my city, man. Like it's the amount of like shit all. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go. What the fuck shit? I can't. Like they're closing down so much of my city for this. And then when you like peek over the fence and see just like the sheer mass of like because it's a dystopian shit, right? So like Calgary is just a zombie town, legitimately. Like you'll see just like driving down like 10th Ave or something. It's like all the stuff that they just like took out from the set, and it's just like busted up buses that have like moss all over it and shit. It looks so awesome. I can't wait to see it because I've seen so many of the sets already.
And
so
with the Mandalorian in it, and
yeah, right.
I don't know who Ellie is. That's her name's Ellie in that too, isn't it?
That's my daughter's name, Ellie.
Yeah, man. But it's so I will give things a chance when you do for sometimes. Like I refuse to watch the old Ray remake because of everything I've heard about it. But like
I haven't seen it either, and like
it's good.
It's good.
You're the only one I've ever heard say that, though, Ken. You're the only
But to be
one.
fair,
I wanna
I
hear
don't
this.
think I didn't watch the original one, so I can't say
Okay.
one way or the other. But I did. I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah,
I watched it a couple times.
I think you check out the. So I sent Josh a thing earlier today. They're
Yeah, I was
re-releasing
stoked. I almost
theaters.
sent you the picture as my reaction because come on.
Yeah, it's coming out next year, and it is. That movie is perfect, and it's hard to track that
so
on
well
Blu-ray.
done.
You should on Josh's Plex. It is there because
Oh,
the movie
yeah.
you can't see the movie anywhere. Like, oh yeah,
Well, it is
Josh,
working for everyone. Like, okay, after this, stay on. We'll get it figured out.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out.
But no, the thing is, people. It makes me think of the Psycho remake, right, with Vince Vaughn and everyone else. That was, the movie was
so loud.
It was done so well, but it wasn't. It was done exactly the same, right? Nothing was different besides Vince Vaughn jerking off, right?
Do you think a lot of that is done? And this is my argument for the Resident Evil show that was canceled on Netflix. Do you think a lot of that's done though, to kind of drive in a new audience and kind of bring in people?
They
that
already canceled that?
Yeah, they canceled it this week.
Cool.
Or the weekend, or
the
last
numbers
week,
of it, like it's so funny because like it was like one of the biggest openings for a show that had shit reviews anyways, but it was because everyone just wanted to see how shitty it was, and then they're like, yeah, that was fucking shitty, and like, come on, make it good. I didn't watch it.
I watched it, and let me explain why I liked it. I liked it because first of all, I have a lot of love for Resident Evil. I love the franchise.
Who doesn't?
I mean, the books, the movies, towards the end, whatever. The games are phenomenal, except for 6. But I feel like they did a really good job of trying to captivate a newer audience to bring in, because you can only go so far with the same franchise concept.
Totally.
And I think kind of giving that other side and perspective that everybody hated so much because it wasn't their typical cup of tea or typical Resident Evil that's handed to you. I think that it kind of goes with that. Like, you need that to bring new people in and bring fresh blood in and kind of rejuvenate the franchise. Flesh. So I think whenever they do stuff like Psycho, like, of course, garbage, but they're trying to relate to a different audience. So they're trying to bring in different people. Same way with, like, the other remakes for, like, Let Me In. It was an attempt to bring in other people, and I get it. Like,
it's not just Hollywood trying to, like, Americanize things, because there are plenty of people out there who just refuse to read movies. They refuse to watch foreign films. So it's like, that's why that's why Parasite was such a fucking big deal for them winning Best Picture, because it's like,
it's so fucking good. Like, how could you not give that? Like, you have to fucking.
do you remember which foreign film you fell in love with that made you, like, actually want to watch foreign films?
This was one of them. This was really up there. Where it was like,
yeah, honestly, this was like, I don't know. I would have to, like, really look back and see what came out. Like, this one was, like, at a time, though, because, like, Ben and I already, like, made short films all the time and stuff. To go and see this, I even think I was like, oh, I don't want to, like, because I never liked reading either, and I totally understand that for sure. But when you start to see just how fucking good, and you get, like, I don't know, it's like, are you just gonna eat the same fucking bullshit every day? No, you want to smorgasbord, you want to try new things, and it's the same with movies. Once you understand that, and you, like, give foreign movies a try, and you understand just how fucking good these filmmakers are all over the world. Holy fuck. Especially Korean movies. Like, the lot of them, like, every single one coming out of Korea is just, like, fucking miles better than, like, most American movies, to be honest.
Yeah, the thing that we've watched a bunch of Korean films on this, like Thirst, and we watched Old Boy, and we watched I Saw the Devil. And I Saw the Devil is, like, one of those films I think is, like, that film is almost like Silence of the Lamb quality, like that kind of good, but, like, it's up there with that kind of thing, right? Like, it doesn't have, it might not be, like, right there, but, like, say like Silence of the Lambs is like a 99 out of 100. Like, I Saw the Devil's like 95. I think Old Boy is like a 99 out of 100. That's how good that fucking film is. And it's, like, just not, like,
you say Old Boy and I just go, that's it.
Dude, I get so mad because I let my buddy borrow the I had a DVD copy of it, and it came with a manga, and, like, it had, like, other extras in it, and I just never saw it again. I think I messaged him years later, and it just disappeared.
Because I've always been the guy in my group and family, whatever, that had the collection, right? Like, I feel like that's the natural progression of someone like me, was to have and to share, like, my server as well. But, like, I always was the Blockbuster for my friends too. Like, they would come over for a poker night, and they would leave with, like, 7 of my fucking movies. So I would put a stack of them on the table and take a picture, so I knew who had them and what movies they had. So I was like, no, you still got my Josie and the Pussycats. You need to bring that back, because that is my favorite, man. I watch that all the time. Come on.
Man, it's just, I feel like if you get into things like Let the Right One In, you get Old Boy, all these things I keep saying, like, they're the type of films, like, where you go, even like Ringu, which you and I both really love, Josh, when we talked about it. It's so good.
It rode that line. It rode that, like, but The Ring is one of the movies that I appreciate so much as a remake, because it rode that line so well and turned it up where it needed to, and did a really good job on the turn up, where the parts where I felt like Ring You conceptually was so there, but then budget and its ability to go there wasn't there. So I felt like everywhere where Ring U was missing, the ring came in and filled in the blanks.
It's one of those reoccurring themes that I see from people all the time that I kind of agree with. Stop remaking good movies. Go back and remake bad movies that have like bad CG or bad like productions or bad whatever, and you go
and reimagine it too.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of my favorite movies all the time is the Thing, right? And The Thing was, I would say, a remake for the Thing from Another World or whatever the original title was, but like. You take something and you update it and you go, okay, cool. I'm like, dude, like that's another thing. Like we have a coming out here pretty soon in next month or in October. So it's this month by the time you guys hear this. Like the Mommy Dearest remake is coming out, and I'm like, oh,
what?
I'm excited for.
Have you seen the original though?
Yeah. Like a million times.
I love this. I love the different opinions and stuff. Like it's good.
It's not. Well, it's more like I don't hate that you're excited for it. I just like it's that thing where like I hope that it does what you were talking about. I hope it's that that like
I don't think it will.
Yeah, that movie is. Yeah,
I think it was set for its time, and I don't think culturally it's gonna hit the same way that it hit then. I don't. Yeah. Think it's gonna do it.
That's a lot of things though. Like even like they're doing a lot of the 80s stuff and trying to redo it. It doesn't hit the same way. And to live in the 80s world as just like a trope, it's so played now that if you're not gonna just continue, I don't know.
But the thing with Mommy Dearest too, though, is like that movie like makes you ask questions the entire time, including the ending. And so you start going, are they gonna like just like here's everything and like here's all the things that we talk about? Because I know that like what's that fucking, it's weird how these things all happen, right? Because we talk about Matt Reeves doing Let Me In, which I don't even know why they had to change the name. I'm not quite sure, but like stuff like that. And then like
changing the name doesn't give it the same like Let the Right One In has more of a meaning. Because it's like it's a decision. Let Me In is aggressive, and it's not right tone for what the movie actually is. Like it's like Let Me In, and it's like that's not what the movie is like. Flowy and about the love and the relationship and stuff.
The parasitic relationship that they set up, and you go, what is happening? Because the thing that like we go back to that final scene of the movie where Oscar is on the train with her in that crate, and you go, so in like 40 years, 50 years, it's gonna be like Oscar is gonna be at the end of his ropes, and like
or he turns too. You never know.
It doesn't. No, because that's the problem is we talked about it before. You can't have like it's impossible for them to survive in this world by themselves as vampires. Like
she's too parasitic at that point, and like she's too young to pull a Cullen and like get away with it.
Yeah,
but like I mean, and you can see it too in the scene, right, where she like reaches up where the father is like, please don't go see that boy tonight. And she reaches up and like just gently touches his cheek, and you're like, oh,
that's so. It is one of the most like, that is such
a hurt.
It's hurt because you go, he knows he's been replaced, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's, and you go, is that? I mean, he's fucked up a lot in this film when he's in it. Like he like that first kill, he doesn't go far enough away. He doesn't do a bunch of things, and that dog, man, that dog comes and sits down next to him, and he's like, God damn it!
So such a good scene. Like it sets the tone for the whole movie because it's this horrific thing, and that's what like the whole corduroy pants movie. Like it's that whole feeling of like I'm doing something wrong. You don't know where I am, and then all of a sudden, real life is that fucking close. That is the whole like vibe and feeling of that movie, like in a nutshell, right there.
So I wonder. I always think about it, like while I'm watching it. What does he put that acid in his case because he knows? And one, he knows that he's getting slow because of the whole, earlier incident. But two, he's like, I've been replaced. Like he knows he's been replaced by the like at that point, and it's like you sitting there going, and it's so heartbreaking because you know that like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, he was Oscar, and you go, how long has this been going on? How long has she been doing this? And you go, because that's one of the other intricacies of this movie. Like you go, like, how long has she been doing this? Like she has that egg that she says you could buy like whatever you wanted if you sold it, right? And I thought it was a Fabergé egg at first, but then like
all the rings of people she's
and you're
eaten.
Like, yeah, well,
it's like her Dexter trophy case.
Yeah, and you're like, because you don't know what it is at first, you're like, huh? But it's a thing that you sit there and go, and it makes that last scene like it's adorable because those two like are into what it is, but you go, what it's gonna be. She doesn't age. He's gonna age.
You think of it from like the Orphan, that movie that just got a sequel to it, which I actually want to check out because like I don't know if you saw the original Orphan, but like
I haven't seen the first one. I got a copy from Jimmy Champagne, the YouTuber. Like he was like giving out copies, and so I got a copy from him. But I need to watch the original still. I know about the original, but
so the premise and stuff. So like like not knowing that of Let the Right One In and Ellie, it's like it's this innocence and stuff. But once you figure that out, it's not so innocent, and it's more like it's just cryptic.
Well, there's another thing though too. I mean, we're all pretty convinced Oscar would have killed people eventually anyway.
Yeah, you get introduced to him like stabbing a tree and saying, "I'm gonna kill you." Like, what the hell?
It was. I don't know, Josh. We lost Josh right here. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there he is. Okay, Josh back. Okay, cool. She says to him at one point, she's like, "You would kill people if you could."
Yeah, that's what.
And for revenge or whatever. And it's like that is a thing, but it's like also it's like because of that he's probably really watching Oscar. You go, this kid would have been a school shooter if he was born in like America 50 years later, right? Like it's like this kid was like broken, right? Because of all this shit that's been happening to him, right?
Yeah, he's a little.
But man, it's so interesting though watching this kid like go through and like go like I'll be kind of horrified at first of what she is and what she does, like and he's like it's like
that's why I chose the pose of her on the poster, like just sitting there, just like she is so powerful and so like aware of just like who and what she is. She just sits there with like so much confidence, like I'm a presence, and it's it's awesome.
It's also cute though too, and you talk about it like it's funny watching her like as she first shows up, and she doesn't give a fuck at first. Like she's all dirty and like got dirty clothes, and then like after she starts kind of liking Oscar, she like cleans up and like gets all like does her hair pretty and stuff like that.
Well, because he's like he's straight up too. You smell weird. Like you smell like butt. This is pretty much like what the hell.
She comes back and she's like, "Do I still smell weird?"
Yeah. Well, it's that thing where it's like that the father probably stopped saying shit like that to her a long time ago, right? Like he's well, it's one of those things about this film that it like is. I wonder if it's because that's why they show the weird fucked up like China doll vagina. Like, are they like trying to show you that it isn't sexual, that like it's emotional? Because like you start getting could be way worse like thoughts in there, like with like a 12-year-old.
I think it's to put a kibosh to that. So it's like it is only an emotional attachment. It's not a sexual thing. But
because that's important too, right? Like it's there's a lot of things that you could think of that like go along with it, but yeah,
there's a lot of like insinuation in this as well. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
Rod,
lot
you're
more.
talking so much. Fucking shut up, man.
I mean, there's a lot more in the book, and there is a lot of talk that, like, the movie, they intentionally tried to dull down a little bit of it. But I did check because I thought I was right about it. It was a botched circumcision. No, a botched no,
Castration.
so castration. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just kind of went that direction. But
Oof.
they hid a lot of stuff. Oh, they didn't hide. They watered down a lot of things from the book to make it a little more palatable. And even then, it's still really intense.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
that's what
mean,
we were kind
it
of
is.
talking about, like with like it too, because it's
Yeah.
around kids and stuff again, and you can't do that in
Have a
film.
kid group orgy.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
you don't. Yeah, the fact that it was even written about is kind of really crazy, but yeah.
You can say in the written word you can go way further because it's a book. Like when you start attaching visuals of especially kid stuff, you're just like, oh, it's something you kind of have to take a step back from, and it I think they did a good job of making it feel that right tone of like both, cute slash horrifying at the same time.
Yeah, there's that innocence to it because of the age of the actors in this, and it treads that line for sure of it being like that, but it's all in the vibe of this movie. It's done so fucking effortlessly, it seems, but I could be completely wrong. It could have been really hard to accomplish what they did, and I'm just talking out of my fucking ass.
I do like one of the last things I want to bring up though, like Kenny, you talked about this earlier. Her eyes in this whole film, and they do that with the context, the CG, whatever they do. I think it was a mixture of both. They do such a good job of showing you that she's a predator. Like they like her cat-like eyes at times, and her like
they're so alluring, and like you want to be there, but you know they're dangerous, and they're so well done. I noticed it this time, like I said, when she was, because they do a lot of shots from the side of her face, and it's just, I don't know, there's something about the shape of eyes it's really interesting. But like when it's done well in movies, I know that it's probably minuscule, it doesn't matter, but to me, I'm always like, that's so cool.
It's just how they show she's a predator. Like they look very cat-like, like more than once, and then like she gets very like these
totally
big. But that's the thing, right? Like like predators have like defense or like mechanisms for like luring you in, right? Like it's like
this.
It's like it's like
wait,
it's
did
like
it work?
It's like, yes, it lured. I'm saying the black phone and like his like balloons, right? Like her eyes are like one of the ways she uses to catch her prey. So
Ken's just like, no.
What? No. What?
Armpit
porn.
I'm stretching, man. It's late. It's not too late. It's way later for Ken, but I don't know, man. I just let's just talk about the pool scene because we've talked about it a little bit, but like
we've just like
danced around it a little bit, and then we'll wrap up. It's like it cultivates with like so much of what we've been like wading through the whole film, right? Like you have this like escalating danger of the bullies through the whole film. You have Oscar's like kind of like growth into like being able to try to put up for himself and like stand up for himself. And
but I love that he like closes his eyes though, because like you don't see that very often in film and stuff. But like that's like his defense mechanism. It's just to like, no, this isn't happening. And that scene where like he gets it for the first time, and the like kid who's like whipping him is like crying because he doesn't want to do it, but like he just closes his eyes and doesn't react whatsoever. So then you see that happen again. It's almost like the foreshadowing to this pool scene that is about to happen, and it's like done so fucking well, like him closing his eyes and not we get to see I
mean, we don't even we see the remnants of it. We don't
but it's because it's done from that perspective too. Carnage behind, not actually showing. It's so it lands so much better because of that, I think.
Yeah. Well, you have the scene because he's underwater, you don't hear anything. You don't
I like that too.
Yeah. And then you just see the head plop. Oh, I think the best shot of the whole scene is when the kid's feet in the water just go
whoa
towards the back of the pool, and then like the head is like
it's like the reverse Jaws. It's from the above instead of below. So it's like what is happening? Like how is that like whoa.
Kind of reminds me of It Follows, right? Like
I was gonna say it follows for sure.
Yeah. And then you get the arm ripped off, and that's one of the best things about that too, because like she doesn't rip people, she doesn't like, she's not using teeth. It's just pure like strength, and you just see like it's not a clean rip. Like the arm is just like chunks, like it's just been pulled off. And then when Oscar finally gets out of the water and everyone's dead besides the one kid just sitting there crying, and it's like the fact that she just left that kid alive is just like, I don't know if it's like forgiveness or it's like pity, like it's like she pities this thing because he's sitting there crying while this all happened, right? I don't know, but it is a cool fucking scene, and it's like it's just that perfect culmination where it's like the end of the movie, and then like the train scene's kind of like the epilogue. And I really like the caps of the film with just snow. Like it starts with just snow, ends in snow, and then that scene is like an epilogue. Like it's kind of like a Marvel credit scene, right? Like you're like, oh, and now these two are on the train for Let the Right One In Too, Electric Boogaloo or something like that. But like, no, Josh, I would watch the remake, but I wouldn't like
really
just to see. Yeah, I'm curious, like, because I haven't watched it since the theater, so that's been almost. I think it came out in 2013, so it's been almost a decade for that too. But it's got good actors. It's got Chloe, what's her name, and then Ender from Ender Game, as the two kids. So they do a really good job too. They feel a little bit older, but not like so.
Really?
So is there anything else that you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I love this. I love your new setup, man. It's looking great. I just gotta say that. I want to gush for a bit. I'm happy Continue came back again. Love seeing you here. Like I'm just happy 100 episodes is a thing, man. Like this is a really, again, thank you for reaching out when you did, man. Because I was like burnt out and like just done with like so much shit back then. And he was the guy that was like, no, man, you got to fucking come and do this thing. And I was like, ugh. And then I did it. And now we're 100 episodes in. So Rod, you're just a really special person to me.
I love you, buddy. And I love doing
this
with you, man. And I love all the people like this awesome Continue. We gotten to meet along the way and gotten to do stuff. It's just cool to be able to do stuff and like make friends outside of like this, and then bring them in and, talk movies with them and like talk something that I'm passionate about, you're passionate about. And obviously, Ken, you're super passionate. I mean, you brought us Motel Hell the first time you were here, and it was like, I'd heard about it, but never seen
so
it.
good. That was dope.
And so like, it's fun sharing a passion for something in a world that like, as I know you guys both know, like often feels not isolated, but like kind of feels like you're on a stage alone. Right. So it's good to come and do this kind of thing where you're getting to share the stage with people you care about and enjoy being around, and just like, obviously we saw the thing, and we've obviously made some kind of impact on people who enjoyed the show and enjoyed it over 100 episodes.
I was gonna say, like, being a part of this Slash and Cast network as well, and seeing like just the support that we have now, it's really fucking. This is a really cool thing we got, man.
Yeah, it is. Ken, you're fucking awesome as always, and thank you so much for being here yet again and just having a good time with us. And
I'm just very, very grateful and honored you guys would let me come on, because 100 episodes is such a huge deal. So congratulations, and thanks for letting me come in and babble.
I mean, I'm the king of babbling, so your babbling is
you're really good at it, Rod.
Yeah, I babble and I babble. So, I'm not sure what we gonna do next week. But
it's 100. We're out. Peace.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not giving up. So
no way. I just made all these new assets. I want to use them.
Yeah, I mean, we have our new Murder Moose logo. Yeah, we can't give up. We got to use him for another.
It's a moose. It's a moose.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll message everyone on Twitter and say what we're gonna do. But yeah, Ken, thank you again for coming back. Yeah, tell everyone where they could find you in this lovely world.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere is Continue, KINTINUE, except for Instagram, which is official Continue. I live stream on Twitch Monday through Friday, starting at 9 a.m. Starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. Come by and hang out, and then Sunday I do weird stuff there too. So.
You were playing chess on the.
Yeah. How's chess going?
I suck, but it's so much fun.
Oh.
I tried playing 2 games at the same time on Sunday. I have not won a game, so I don't know what I thought there, but it was something. So
I was like, I don't know, like my buddy and I, like when I was in elementary school, I was like grade 4. He was really into Magic the Gathering, and he had like a chess set, and then I got one from like my grandma that year too for some reason, and him and I just got like really competitive with it somehow. Like we would go in and like play, and then we'd like come out of his room like sweating, like, oh my god. And I started a chess club in elementary school.
And that's sweet.
And the only teacher that could like chaperone it was the gym teacher, someone who really did not fucking like chess. So he set it up so like everyone, like we had like a group of like 10 people, I think, or maybe 9. And it was like whoever wins then plays, and it was like this whatever, and then whoever beats the last person then plays me. And the teacher was like, haha. So I went and then went on to round 2, and then I was the winner of the thing, went in against the gym teacher, and then I was just about to checkmate him, and he flipped the board off the table and pieced out, and we didn't have chess club after that. He was such a sore loser. I was like, whoa.
I'm just picturing Josh with the teacher from Let the Right One In. Like
he hated me after that. Yeah. He would like do the tetherball into my face and stuff. He was the teacher from this fucking movie.
Okay. We are Murder Moose though. MurderMoose.com. Check out all the episodes are up there. We have our Murder Moose on YouTube. If you search us there, when we get 100 episodes,
you're gonna fucking see it happen this week, Rod. Believe me. Okay, hold me to it.
And I'll
figure it out.
Everywhere. Josh is Josh WRB everywhere, and that's about all. So.
And Rod is Clown Dick on OnlyFans.
Thank you for hanging out. Kim, thank you again for coming back. And thank you everyone for fucking listening to our bullshit for like 100 episodes. So
yay!
Yay!
So, we will catch you guys next week for episode 101. So thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye!
Bye!